Good morning, friends. Welcome to part two of our habitats domain, and we are going to finish learning about the African savanna. But as usual, let's start off with our habitat song. Enjoy, and I'll be right back with you.
Hopscotch! I am an explorer of this beautiful earth, from the jungle to the polar caps. There are so many different homes for living things, and we call them habitats. A forest is made up of trees and animals. Oxygen and water are the norm. Temperate means it goes through different seasons, and tropical means it's very wet and warm. A forest is a home for living things, and it's one of the habitats. Grasslands can have many titles: pampas, prairies, savannas, or steppes. And just like forests, they can be tropical or temperate. A grassland is a home for living things, and it's one of the habitats. Fresh water can be a marsh or river, a wetland, a swamp, or a lake. And fresh water can be ideal for insects, for beavers, and snakes. Fresh water is a home for living things, and it's one of the habitats. The poles include the Arctic and Antarctic. Both are very dry and cold, and animals need blubber or hibernation if they want to live around the poles. A polar biome is a home for living things, and it's one of the habitats. A desert's dry and doesn't have much water. Some species live by storing it inside. Some hide beneath the sand when it gets hotter, and come out in the open when it's night. A desert is a home for living things, and it's one of the habitats. The ocean is vast and it's all salt water, with jellyfish, whales, and sharks. From the coral reef in the shallow parts to the deep where it's always dark. The ocean is a home for living things. There are even more homes for living things. So many different homes for living things, and we call them habitats.
And there's the end of my favorite song. So, just to remind us, we are starting back with our African savanna, and I'll show my face at the very end, but not right now, so you can see the pictures. But how many of you remember what the name of this tree is? Yeah, it's the acacia tree. And what was special about the acacia tree? Exactly right. It has the sharp thorns and the small leaves. Excellent job. So, as we said in the last lesson, we were going to continue to learn about some of the animals that live there. So, here we're back to the giraffe. Animals living in the savanna have adapted to their habitat in many ways. Some animals, like the giraffe, have long, powerful legs so that they can quickly run away from predators, animals that hunt and kill other animals. So, friends, even though the giraffe is really big, there are still animals that do hunt it. Their long legs also help them travel long distances to search for food. Can you imagine a rat like me keeping up with a giraffe or a zebra? Not a chance. So now we're going to zoom in on the giraffe and look at this very special bird. Now, there's a little bird that's been sitting on the giraffe the whole time I've been watching. This is the oxpecker. Oxpeckers perch on the backs of large animals. This oxpecker will use its sharp claws to hold on to the giraffe, who will hardly even know it's there. The giraffe and the oxpecker coexist. So remember, friends, coexist means when two animals live together peacefully. So let's find out how the oxpecker and the giraffe live peacefully. The oxpecker feeds on the fleas and ticks, on the giraffe's body, and it warns the giraffes of any predators that might be trying to sneak up on it. Huh. In turn, the giraffe will let the oxpecker live on its back and provide the oxpecker its food of fleas and ticks, and it gives it shelter and protection from predators. The oxpecker will spend most of its life on the giraffe's back. Wow, that's quite a friendship, huh, friends? Let's go to our next animal. And here is the zebra. So here I am back in all this tall grass, and I bet you recognize the black and white stripes of the zebra that I've just run into. Zebras are especially adapted to living on the savanna. They have strong, long legs that make them very good at outrunning lions and other predators. And the stripes on the zebra's legs and body aren't just there to make them look pretty. They camouflage the zebras against the grass so that predators can't see it. Zebras eat the grass on the savanna, so they are herbivores. So friends, let's remember, what does camouflage mean? Right, camouflage means that they are hidden from their predators because of something on their body that hides them. And then again, a zebra is an herbivore, and an herbivore eats what? Meat, everything, or just plants? You're right, it eats plants and grasses. Good. Okay, here's another big animal. Oh, and look, this guy has a bird on it just like the giraffe did. Over there, I can see the largest land animal in the world. Can you guess what it is? The African elephant is very big and eats up to 400 pounds of trees and grass every day. Oh my gosh, friends, that is something new to me. It eats up to 400 pounds of trees and grass every day. That's about the same amount as the weight of 9 of you guys. So if I put 9 of you in a bucket, and if the elephant ate meat, he could eat 9 of you every day. Do you see the trunk on that elephant? An elephant uses its trunk for all sorts of things. The trunk, of course, is the elephant's nose for breathing and smelling, but it also uses it for hard lifting of things. It gathers food with it, and it holds on to little elephants' tails. Baby elephants and calves use their trunk to grasp onto the elephant's tails to keep them from wandering away from the rest of the herd or from getting lost. Elephants also use their trunks to drink water. They suck up the water with their trunks, and then they put the water from the trunks into their mouth. And they also use their trunks like a hose to take showers with or for playtime. That is so funny. So I guess they use their trunks and tails like holding hands. Oh, and here is Mama and Papa Lion. These are lions, and lions live in groups called prides. So we have families, and a lion's family is called a pride. The female lion is called a lioness, and she does most of the hunting. They are carnivores, and they hunt zebras, elephants, and all other kinds of savanna animals. Most groups of lions have just one or two male lions. The male lion is huge and incredibly strong. It has a furry mane, powerful jaws, and fearsome claws. And unless this lion meets a stronger lion, no other animal in the savanna habitat can match the lion's strength and power. Animals that are hunted by predators are called prey. We've learned that before. One of the lion's favorite prey to hunt and eat are zebras. But zebras try to use their camouflage of their black stripes to hide in the grasses of the savanna so that the lions will not see them. Wow. And we've talked about these guys. These are vultures. And the word for vulture, I'm wondering how many of you remember what we call the animals that leave the scraps that animals don't eat. They're called scavengers. So up at the top of this tree, I can see and hear birds that are waiting for the lions to finish eating so they can have dinner. These birds are called vultures. A vulture is a scavenger, which means, as you already learned, it's an animal that eats leftovers. So I like leftovers, but I wouldn't consider myself a vulture. So, friends, this is a food chain of the savanna. It's the food chain of the savanna. All of the animals and plants you've learned about so far are part of something that we call the food chain. What do you see at the bottom of the picture? Right, it's grass, the savanna grass. Then the arrow points from the savanna grass to the zebra because the zebra eats the grass. Yeah. And then the next arrow points from the zebra to the lion because, tell me, you guessed it, the lion eats the zebra. And the next picture after the lion is a picture of the soil. This isn't because the soil eats the lion, silly. It's because that when the lion dies, it becomes part of the soil. Then more grass will grow from that soil, and the food chain will start all over again. So, a food chain, friends, is the relationship of all living things as food sources for other things. So, the grass is a food source for the zebras, and the zebra is a food source for the lion. And after the lion dies, it becomes a type of food source, kind of a fertilizer for the grass. So the cycle continues. So, next, I think we should head to a habitat that's a bit closer to home and explore some plants and animals that might look quite similar to us. But for now, I'm going to check out more wildlife. So, I'll see you later. Everybody say bye, Rattenborough. All right. So, friends, I want you to think about everything that we learned in the savanna habitat. And I want you to think about the plants and the animals that live there, how they live there, how do they protect themselves, and what our food chain looks like. So I'm going to get out of this picture and I am going to bring up the camera again. Hi, friends. And I want you to take a look at our next journal picture that you guys are going to be working on. So remember, if you can't print out this habitat picture of the savanna, that's an acacia tree, I want you to just draw it in your journal. And the directions say, draw a picture of the habitat, including animals and plants that you would see on this habitat. Write a sentence describing your drawing. And I know that you guys can draw more than one sentence. So tell me about the plants and animals that would live in the savanna habitat. So our next habitat is the forest. Do I have a picture up here? Oh, I do. So here is our forest habitat. So this will be the next one that we learn about. So until then, friends, have a great afternoon.